Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 23rd installment of Yid Talks. Tonight's talk is entitled From the Bootstraps. And tonight, number 23. 23, thank you for joining me. 23, thank you for joining me. 23 is also the number of Michael Jordan. 21 installment, the 21st installment of Yid Talks, I honored Tim Duncan. And now an homage to the great Michael Jordan is for number 23. And we're going to get to Michael Jordan in a little bit. But first, I want to speak about From the Bootstraps. And this world that we live in today is challenging. There are a ton of modern challenges that we all have to deal with. The fast-paced nature of the world that we live in with the internet and with technology, it creates a lot of stress in the world. It creates a lot of stress individually as a society. And just like I believe in any other time, really in history, every epoch has its own challenges and its own issues. And I don't believe the modern day is any different. There's a lot of reason in this world today to be down on ourselves, whether it be financially, or socially, or something to do with our jobs, or family stress. There's just so many different angles where stress, sadness, depression can come in. Now, I want to make a disclaimer. I'm not speaking to those who have a clinical level of depression. It's something that needs medication in order to help alleviate the pressure and stress and clinical depression that a person may go through. I do believe, and I am under the philosophy that I believe that is the minority of people that are feeling depressed or feeling sad. I think that a lot of it has to do with our own way of thinking about the world around us. And I believe that we have the power within us to get us out of the darkest, deepest sadness. And that's what I want to speak about tonight. That's what I'm here for right now. Number 23, Michael Jordan. We're going to see why in a few minutes. But first, story time. The Pout Pout Fish. If you'll notice on the top, it tells you it's a New York Times bestseller. Now, this is a children's book, if you didn't notice at first. This was a book that my daughter loved to read for probably over a year. It's got a lot of wear and tear in it. It's been used a lot. It's been good. But the Pout Pout Fish is a story about a fish called the Pout Pout Fish that can't shake off the sadness, can't shake off that little gloomy feeling that we're all, familiar with in our own lives, that we've all, I'm sure, felt at one time or another, some more than others. The premise of the book is that this fish just can't change. He's just going to be pout pout, and that's the end of it. Spoiler alert, by the end of the book, he recognizes that is not his true nature. And in fact, his true nature is within the category of a kiss-kiss fish. And I think it sounds funny and it sounds a bit childish, but I think there's a ton of truth in this book. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's a New York Times bestseller. People can relate to it. People can relate to this idea. And this is where I bring up the concept of picking ourselves up from bootstraps. It's a phrase that we may all, or most of us may be familiar with, that we sort of dust off our shoulders, pick ourselves up, and we move on. There's little that can detract from the human spirit. And in our essence, in our true, deep down essence, we are all unique souls that are out of this world. And we are put in this world, and we get bodies, and those bodies detract us from our true selves. That's reality. That is the reality that we live in. Now that pout kind of characteristic that we feel, and sometimes we feel like we can't get out of it. Talking personally, I get in those places where I don't feel like I can get out of the pout. I'm stuck in the pout. Just stuck in the pout. But I see that when I take the option of picking myself up from the bootstraps, by wiping myself off and saying, I ain't gonna let that get to me. I'm just gonna leave that here. I'm gonna focus over here and upward and onward, like Buzz Lightyear. We go out of orbit. Really, we're going back to our true selves. The illusion is that we are stuck in the pout. But our true selves are out of this orbit. Now to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, as some of you may well know, was a baseball player. I mean, he was a baseball player. But really, we all know him as a basketball player. He is considered by most, if not all, who know anything about the game of basketball as the greatest basketball player to ever grace this earth. And our good old friend Michael Jordan wasn't able to get onto his varsity high school basketball team. That's right. True story. Look it up. I looked it up. Actually, I had Erica, my wife, look it up for me. And it's true. It's there. It's in the record. Now think about something for a second. What if Michael Jordan decided in that high school age self of his, when he didn't make the varsity, that he was just going to give up? He wasn't going to take that next step. He wasn't going to become more determined to get to his goal. He wasn't going to double down, pick himself up from his bootstraps, dust his shoulders off, and reinforce that spirit within himself, knowing that he had a special gift. Well, then there would be no Michael Jordan that would be in the conversation for best basketball player of all time. This is a sobering thought. It's easy to get distracted from our true selves, from our true potential in this world. Just ask me. I understand it. And I'm sure most of the audience and anyone that would be honest with themselves would agree with this. But that is why it is our duty as human beings to remember our true selves, to step outside of that gloom, step outside of that pout, and recognize who we truly are. Michael Jordan went on to make a varsity basketball team in his high school the very next year. And the rest is history. And the rest could be history for us as well. If we just strengthen ourselves and we make that commitment that even though we may fail time and time again, we're going to keep on at it. We're going to keep at it. We're going to keep at it. You know, this is number 23. Yid Talk 23. I haven't gotten so many views, outside of family and close friends. But I feel like I have a purpose here. I feel like I can really get through to people. And I can't be motivated right now by the lack of an audience, the lack of a bigger than maybe 5 to 10 person audience. People who may feel more obligated than others to watch, being, either family members or friends. But I have to remember that that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I feel like I have something to give. I have a gift in this type of platform that I really feel like can be helpful for others. Now, I want to end this talk with a beautiful quote that I may have shared already, but that doesn't mean it's not worth sharing again. It's from my daily aphorisms that I've made for myself. It's a quote from Rabbi Noach Weinberg. And it really encapsulates the spirit that we're meant to have when faced with challenges in life, when faced with failure. He says as follows: people often avoid making decisions in their lives out of fear of making a mistake. Actually, the failure to make decisions is one of life's biggest mistakes. Let that sink in. We may choose not to act based on fear. But little do we know that may be the biggest mistake that we can make. So here I am, Yitzhak 23, imploring us as a team to keep on fighting, to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and to try again, and to keep on trying. For result is not what we're after, but instead, it's that grind. And it's that grind of keep on trying that is going to really bring success. So may we all have an opportunity in front of us and a belief in ourselves to be the best that we can be and to keep on trying. Put another way, let us keep on trucking. Let's do it, everybody. Good night.